Once upon a time, in a far-off land, there was a wise king who was renowned for his intelligence and his excellent judgment. He was beloved by his people, who relied on him to make the right decisions for their kingdom. One day, the king decided to visit a neighboring kingdom to meet with their ruler and discuss matters of mutual interest. He traveled with a small retinue of advisors and officials, including his most trusted counselor, a man named Samuel. As they rode through the countryside, the king and Samuel elaborated on many things, but the conversation eventually turned to the topic of courage. "Samuel," said the king, "what do you think it means to be courageous?" Samuel thought for a moment before replying, "Your Majesty, I believe that courage is the ability to face one's fears and overcome them. It is the willingness to do what is right, even when it is difficult or dangerous." The king nodded thoughtfully. "Yes, I agree with you. But I also believe that there is another kind of courage that is just as important. It is the courage to say no to other things, to prioritize what is truly important and let go of what is not." Samuel looked at the king quizzically. "I'm not sure whether I understand, Your Majesty. Can you please give me an example?" The king smiled. "Certainly, my friend. Let me tell you a story from my experience. When I was a young prince, still learning the ways of the court, I met a wise old advisor who taught me a valuable lesson about the power of saying no." The king paused for a moment, remembering the advisor's words. Then he began to tell his story. "At the time, I was eager to prove myself and gain the respect of my peers. I said yes to every request that came my way, no matter how trivial or unimportant it seemed. I wanted to show that I was capable and reliable, but I soon found myself overwhelmed by the sheer number of tasks and responsibilities that I had taken on. One day, the old advisor called me aside and said, 'My prince, I have noticed that you are taking on too much. You are spreading yourself too thin, and you are not giving your best to any one thing. I advise you to learn the power of saying no to the things that are not truly important so that you can focus your energy on what matters most.' At first, I was skeptical. I thought that saying no was a sign of weakness or selfishness, but the advisor explained that it was actually a sign of strength and wisdom. He said that we all have a limited amount of time and energy, and that if we say yes to everything, we will end up diluting our efforts and achieving nothing of real value. So I took his advice to heart, and I began to practice the art of saying no to the things that did not truly matter. It was not easy at first, but I soon found that I had more time and energy to devote to the things that really counted. I became more focused, more productive, and more successful as a result." The king finished his story, and Samuel nodded thoughtfully. "I see what you mean, Your Majesty. It takes courage to prioritize what is truly important and let go of what is not. But how do you know what is truly important?" The king smiled. "Ah, that is the key question, my friend. You see, the way to know what is truly important is to have a bigger yes burning inside you. You must have a clear vision of what you want to achieve and what kind of person you intend to be. That yes will guide you in making the right choices and saying no to the things that do not align with your vision. But you must also be mindful that the enemy of the best is often the good. Even when the urgent is good, the good can keep you from your best, keep you from your unique contribution if you let it. So you must be discerning and deliberate in your choices. Samuel nodded, understanding the king's words. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, Your Majesty. I will keep your advice in mind as I go about my duties. As they continued on their journey, the king and Samuel talked more about the importance of courage and making wise choices. They discussed how it takes bravery to stand up for what is right, even in the face of opposition or adversity. They also talked about how important it is to listen to the counsel of wise advisors who can offer insights and perspectives that may not be immediately apparent. When they arrived at the neighboring kingdom, the king and his retinue were welcomed warmly by the ruler and his court. They spent several days discussing matters of mutual interest and building a strong relationship between their kingdoms. But even as he enjoyed the hospitality of his hosts, the king remained mindful of his priorities and the need to say no to the things that did not truly matter. He delegated tasks to his advisors and officials, freeing up time for himself to focus on the most important issues. And when they returned home, the king continued to practice the art of saying no to the things that did not align with his vision and goals. He remained committed to making wise choices and prioritizing what was truly important, even when it was not easy. In time, the king's reputation for wisdom and courage grew, and his people looked up to him as a model of leadership and integrity. And Samuel, too, became known for his sound judgment and his ability to prioritize what mattered most. So remember, my friend, the importance of having a bigger yes burning inside you. Use that yes to guide you in making the right choices and saying no to the things that do not truly matter. It takes courage to prioritize, but the rewards are worth it. The end. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing for more videos like this from this channel. We love you.